airwaves ignite for the chosen few. He's got the voice, the spirit, and the fire. Bigfoot, Michigan Rob, taking us higher. He built a palace of cryptids in this lonely space. True Cryptid Encounters, volumes 1 and 2. Coming from the darkness, tell your own tale. He's starting the job out past the setting sun. He's Bigfoot, Michigan Rob, until the work is done. It's a Bigfoot pirate rock and roll show. On the airwaves, watch the legend grow. Come join the beyond and hear the wild scream. Yeah! Bigfoot, Michigan Rob, time to open up your mind. Get ready to rock and roll. Yeah.
Hello, one and all. This is Brunch with Bigfoot, Michigan Rob, and I'm pleased to have Monica back with me. It's been a minute on this show. Thanks, one and all, for coming on in. Gotta love that intro, don't you? Gotta love it. Gets me fired up for the shows. Thanks to Fidesz for that. She's awesome. If this is your first time here, please subscribe to Bigfoot, Michigan Rob on YouTube. Monica Rollins, Our Paranormal World, Texas Front Porch. Donnie Cho says stuff. The Blondes, and Booze, Truth or Tin Foil. That's right. Don't forget, everybody, hit that like button. Leave a comment after the show. Thanks to everybody for coming in. I see Roger, Michelle Wilfong, Diane Boss, a few others floating on in. Nathan from the Quantum Show is here. Moon at Noon. Hi, Moon. Good to see you. Digger Dog is here. Hi, Digger. Monica Rollins is already here. Outdoorsman, Texas. Hello, Manco. Hello, Henry. Hello. If you're not chatting, can't give you a shout out, but that's cool. Thanks for coming on in tonight. This afternoon, I should say. Got a cool show in store for you with Monica. Don't forget, everybody, the super chat's open. A great way to help support what we all do around here. Thank you in advance for that. Also, mateys, you can become BMR pirates. Join the many, join the few, depending on your point of view. My books can be found on Amazon. Simply type Bigfoot Michigan Rob in your Amazon browser. They'll both pull up. I also pinned it at the top of the show, my Amazon store. The only thing in the store are my books, but yeah, you can go check that out and you can find the books there. I got to work on that website a little bit. So thanks to everybody. And with that said, I'm going to bring on Monica. Hi, Monica.
Hi, Robbie.
How are you?
I'm better. Thank you.
Yes, you're getting better each and every week that goes by.
Every week, it hurts less.
Yeah. You know, it's funny about hurting less. Last Saturday night, I told you my tale of woes with my shoulder, right? Thinking I tore the rotator cuff, and I'm going to see the doctor January 13th. And I could not lift my arm from my side, and it was extremely painful. And a lot of the people in chat suggested rotator cuff, bursitis, a lot of cool. So I'm looking all this stuff up, and it hurt. It's been hurting forever. I woke up this morning, Monica. You know, no pain, no nothing.
You just slept on the wrong pillow.
Man, it was painful for 3 days, though.
I understand. I've had that happen.
So now my thing is this. Do I still go to the doctor, just have him do the quick x-ray? Because maybe there's something going on. I mean, I already have the appointment.
If you can afford it, I would get it checked out just to make sure it isn't something that's going to pop back up in a week or two.
Yeah. And I
I would do.
I was thinking I might just get that over with and just have them do it. Because I've also had, not to get into this, once or twice every 2 or 3 months, my fingers get really, man, they lock up almost like arthritis. You know how they turn
Oh, yeah.
unconventionally? Like they turn into a 90, and I got to massage it back into place. I mean, no, they look bad and they hurt.
That's a symptom I have yet to experience.
Good. I'm glad you have it. It's like they lock up. I'm thinking, man, is that the onset of early arthritis, perhaps?
It might be. You definitely get that checked out.
When I'm in there, I might just keep the appointment and have them do the shoulders. I'm going to bring that up. And maybe they can do an X-ray on the hands, the fingers, the joints, the digits.
Absolutely.
My dad had rheumatoid arthritis. I don't think that's hereditary, but
I think it is.
And that would happen to him. And you know, it started happening to him when he was 53.
So around your age.
Around my age. So maybe and
I'm telling you, you turn 50 and the dashboard lights up.
You turn 50.
Everything starts flashing like
Yeah, you know, and I've also noticed when I turn 50 that, like this past Christmas, you know me, I love Christmas. It's coming too fast every year, Monica. All the holidays. I mean, I can remember distinctly, okay, this Christmas is past. Last Christmas is still fully in my mind. It's like, okay, now we got back. It's like I have back-to-back holidays. It's like, where does the time go? You know?
Well, yes, and I commented on that on Texas Show the other night. I said the older I get, the faster the years go by.
Okay.
And I noticed in the last, I don't know, 5-10 years, like it'll hit Christmas and then like from Thanksgiving to New Year is just a blur. Like it happens so fast.
Oh, yeah.
And this year, I mean, because I had surgery right before Christmas, like everything's kind of, and I was on pain meds, so everything's kind of weird in my mind for this year anyway. But past years, yeah, I mean, you hit Thanksgiving and then they turn around and it's Christmas. And then a week later is New Year. It's just, it's my favorite time of year and it goes by so quickly. Like I feel like I can't enjoy it.
No, that was this year for me. Like I said, I fully remember last year and this year went by like a blur. For me, they do go by fast because I'm so busy during that time of year. And before you know it, I'll be, talking to you about gardening.
Yeah.
It's going to come that fast.
Well, it never got cold here, so I could talk gardening right now. One of my irises bloomed.
Really?
Yes. That's how warm it's been. It thinks it's spring here.
Yeah. Well, I tell you what, it's 44 degrees here. And just the other day, it was 27. And we had snow.
It was 80 degrees here yesterday.
Well, but
it
then
is
again,
never
it is
that warm.
Yeah, but it is Texas. But then I always
I don't live in South Texas. I live
I
up
know you don't. When I think Texas, I just think the desert.
It's not
I think
like
heat.
that.
I know it's not. I've been there like 3 times now in the past several years. I get it. Mostly East Texas. I was in San Antonio many years ago. I hung out on the Riverwalk.
Well, San Antonio is warmer than where I am. I mean, there's such climate changes from the north where I'm basically on the border with Oklahoma. And we used to be 7B, but it changed to 8A. And then all the way down to South Texas, which is several hours away. I'm like 12 hours away. And they're like zone 12 or something, like 11 or 12. So it's and then before I moved to Texas, I too thought just desert and tumbleweeds and that is 100% West Texas. But as you progress east, it gets, you've got the prairie land, which is kind of where we are. You got the hill country and then you've got the piney woods. So, I mean, it's a very diverse climatology going on there in the state of Texas.
Yes, the state of Texas. Well, I tell you what, all the states, I don't care if it's Michigan, Texas, Missouri, Florida, the weather just changes. Has been a dramatic, slight change for the last several decades. You know what I mean?
No, yeah.
Climatology.
I just said climate. I don't think that was the accurate word, but you know what I
Yeah,
mean.
I know. Well, I know. Well, no, we just made one up. You know how I like to make up words.
Climatology is a real word, but I don't think it was the correct word for what I
For
was.
what you were talking about.
Yeah, in that context.
Oh, I see Krista's in the house. Hey, go check out the Blondes and Booze tonight. They got Josh Turner on, as always, with the other
Yeah,
gals.
they're gonna have a
That
good show tonight.
that'll be a great show. A little later on after their show, I'm going to be on Untold Radio, which is cool.
Fun.
Yeah, it's fun with Dr. Dean. Yeah,
Oh,
Dr. Dean,
he's so cool. I love him.
Yeah.
He's one of the kindest people. Just
he's
kind.
cool. I gave him a discount on my books, and he was almost embarrassed. I said, "Dude, it's okay. I've known you for quite a while." You know.
He's a very, like I said, he's just kind. I just really loved him and his girlfriend at the conference. They
Yeah, I
were
love. Oh, yeah,
wonderful
she
people.
and I were like arch enemies. Every time we talked, it was about she. I've got to wear a cheese head this year, which I'm not going to. By the way, we had to bet about the Lions and the Packers, and my Lions didn't have a good year. They didn't make the playoffs, so she's sending me a cheese head that she wants me to wear for a segment of a show, and I forgot making that bet.
So you have to wear.
Well, if she sends it to me and spends the money, I will probably do it for 15 minutes. That's it. They wear a slice of cheese on their head.
I get it. I get it. Just.
Yeah.
I'm putting myself in her position. Would spending the money be worth the
I don't know
smug
what
satisfaction I would get from seeing you wear it
I
on air?
don't. She and I hit it off pretty well. We became friends, and we were just. And I think it's fun and games. Yeah, I wouldn't do it. It depends what the cost is. I don't even know what the cheese head costs. Then you got to ship it, and it's
Yeah.
big, it's bulky, and it's like would take up my whole screen probably.
Yeah, it would look like you had like a cheese UAP floating
Yeah,
above you, right?
Well,
One of the
yeah, 'cause
triangles.
it is triangular shaped. It is. I'll wait and see on that one, and I'm crossing my fingers that I do not have to put myself through that.
We'll see.
If she spends the money, I'll at least give her the satisfaction.
Of course.
I'm over it. I'm looking forward to next year, and next year. It's going to be here
This
before
year.
we know. Well, technically, yes, this year, really. Yeah, that's right, this year. So yeah,
I know. I don't know. It's still. I still can't believe like Christmas is gone. Like I feel like I had no participation in the holidays this year.
Yeah, well, it's understandable though with the things you had going on, and I'm glad to see you're back, getting back to normal. But yeah, it was just the other day. It was maybe last January 3rd, perhaps it was. I forget. Maybe the
My
2nd.
birthday?
On your birthday, yes. And I know that you've been reading the little birthday thing I sent you. I gave you the combo present if people don't know. I just got that book today because I told you I read it 20 years ago and I lost
Right.
it. So I finally got it. I haven't started to read it. I know you told me you started reading it, so I'm gonna try to blast through it. I didn't have time yesterday.
Yeah, I haven't picked it up in a few days.
Okay. Yeah.
Because I've been trying. Since I'm feeling better, I'm trying to do a little bit more
Yeah.
around
No.
the house.
Yeah. For sure.
But I left off in a very disturbing portion.
Well, you'll find it from what I recall. Again, it was 20 years ago when I read it, and so I just remember. I just loved it. I just liked it. So hopefully you're gonna like it. I hope you like it as you.
It's entertaining so far. I'm not that far in, and
Okay.
the disturbing portion that I am currently reading, I hope is not a reoccurring theme throughout the book. Because I like horror, I don't like disgusting.
Well, no, it's just parts of it is, and there's a lot to uncover in that book. It's about vampires later on.
Yeah.
And it's about talking to the dead, but it's also got espionage in it. And this character, Harry, have you got to the part of Harry Keogh?
I'm not sure.
Okay, well, no, you have see.
I don't think so.
Okay, good. It's really just continue on. I will tell you the first. I don't know how many pages the book is. I forget 300 or something. I don't know, maybe more. I don't know. I remember reading I remember reading the first I'm guessing from 20 years ago, first 4 or 5 chapters, I was like, can just continue with it, Rob. And I almost put it down and said, screw this book. However, oh yeah, it got really, really good midway through.
Oh, well, I mean, I'm going to keep with it because you sent it to me and you insist that I read it because
Yeah, well,
it's so good.
yeah, and I'm going to do the same. I'm going to do the same. Then we'll have
And
the
I
collaboration.
started another book at the same time because I'll do that. I'll read 2 books
Okay.
at once. I'm the other book that I'm reading is called The Cunning Folk. And it's a folk horror based in England. So I'm not far into it, but I'm hoping for it because I think it's by Neville.
Okay.
And I like his writing. So I have high hopes for this book.
Okay.
I'm trying to, Adam Neville. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I hope it is enjoyable for you. I hope you like it. Yeah, I don't really read 2 books at once. I mean, I have and I've done it, and then I just get too distracted with other things. And I remember both of them equally, but it's just like, yeah, I just decided to read one, be done with it. I've got many books in this corner I haven't even opened yet, and they're brand new from like 2-3 years ago.
Cool.
But so yeah, I've for a little bit later in the show, I've got a really cool email I got sent to me actually pretty recently about a family of Bigfoot that are outside this guy's property and it's starting to disturb him a little bit. And this guy's a researcher. We'll get into that, but I wanted to ask you to warm up the audience a little bit. You know, we've talked about Dogman and all that stuff, and you've had an encounter you've spoken on in depth on a lot of shows. But you've been doing this for like 20 years, and I know that you like because I have a follow-up of what happened to me that I haven't shared with anybody. But
Okay.
when you Monica, with you with the fae, the fairy folk, fae folk, have you personally think you've come across any of these magical mysteries of the world throughout your years?
So I do think that because we call it the little person, but that little creature that I saw in East Texas, I think that was a fae. I'm not sure which one. But I do feel strongly that was likely like a red cap or some sort of goblin, because that's what it looked like. But outside of that encounter, off the top of my head, and I'm going through a lot of weird stuff in my inventory right now.
Yeah, well,
I don't know that I have blatantly like that, where it's very clear that I've encountered any kind of fae. I mean, I might have, and I'm not recognizing it as such, but like traditional fae, I'd say that little dude that I saw out in East Texas.
okay. You know, for people, because again, I'm wrapping my hands around this still, and for those that really don't know what is the fae and the fairies interchangeable words, and it's not just little Tinkerbell, right? It's much more broader than that, right?
Oh yeah, it's so many different creatures. So many, like all shapes and sizes. You've got some that are very, very tall, like 10 feet tall, even.
Really?
And you have some that are tiny little pixies, like the little Tinkerbell things that I think everybody thinks of when they think of fairies.
Okay.
And some of them look human. Some of them absolutely do not look human. Some of them inhabit trees. Some of them look like trees. Yeah.
Really?
I mean, there's trees that were avoided, like willow trees aren't supposed to touch your heart. Like you can't let a willow tree branch touch your heart because it could be a fae and it
really?
like you'll die. Like it's a bad omen.
So the fairy, not necessarily like it's brought upon us on Disney, right? It can be very disturbing and very menacing. Is that
Yeah,
fair
I
to
mean, they
say?
can be very helpful. I always point out like how much don't go into contracts with them, like avoid them. They're not all malicious and they're not all out to get you, but they're tricky and you got to be careful. I mean, that's more what I need to drive home other than like run away from them. Just you got to be cautious. I mean, another name for them in Ireland, at least, are the good neighbors. Like you take care of them and they take care of you. But they're tricky. You just got to be careful.
Tricky fae folk. Yeah, I think we've probably all come across them in life, especially if you're out in the woods or you live in the woods. And does it actually have to be just the woods, or can they appear out of anywhere? Like in a major city, subdivision of a beautiful subdivision in Dallas, Texas. Where you're
Could they be
surrounded
in
by
that?
yeah.
Yeah, they could be. I don't think that that's like they'd be happy there, but I mean,
Okay.
Urban sprawl is going to encroach upon typical habitat. And just like fox and badgers and bobcats and all the wild creatures, urban sprawl, when it intersects with their traditional homes, you're going to have interactions.
Okay. Why have something I never really told anybody? I almost brought this up because if you recall, maybe you don't, when we did the late show and we talked about those fireflies that turned blue and
Mm-hmm.
led that family into the woods, if you remember that.
I kind of
Kind of.
remember that because I
Yeah,
remember talking about I saw red lights and they look like fireflies, but there's no red-butted firefly out where I was.
right. This happened to me, and I didn't bring it up on that particular show because we were so busy, other things to do on the show. I don't know what this was, and this happened. I want to say 5 or 6 years ago. Now, where I live, this is at my buddy's house. Now, where I live, as I've said many times, there's a long creek that
Mm-hmm.
runs. It's like 50 miles long, and it ends up dumping into the Detroit River. And a lot of tributaries dump into this creek. And of course, on either side of the creek, there's the woods, which, by the way, this really is so disappointing. Off topic just a little bit. The city has decided to dredge out the creek because we do get a lot of floods around here because the creek doesn't flow like it should. So when it rains or snows, it pours into the community.
Yeah.
They've cut down 50% of the tree line around the creek now.
I remember you telling me.
And now it's open, and now I see houses that I've never seen before. And you could tell that the people that live right along the edge of the creek are really ticked off because now you can be seen from a mile away, and they kind of set up their backyard in a fashion that went along with the wood line for privacy.
Right.
And all these people are just complaining they have no privacy now. It ruined their landscape and all this, that, and the other. And as I drive down a certain section of town and I notice this, it is just so disheartening. It looks like I live in an alien environment. I mean, like I
Yeah.
moved somewhere. Like I literally moved.
That's so unfortunate. I hate it when
It's
cities come in and just do
terrible.
that.
It's just
But
so,
I mean, I understand it's necessary for water flow and for
yeah,
flooding and all of that, but it's
yeah,
terrible for the people that live there. So I feel
it's
for you.
terrible. And I get it because a lot of these trees were towering, right? And yeah, a lot of the branches, big branches, and all the foliage would dip into the lake, into the creek. And I get it. And I get that they're
Mhm.
doing it to try to help save homes because every time it floods around some of these homes, gets into their basement and they're throwing out all their property. I
Yeah.
do get it. It's just not very pleasing to the eye, right? And yeah, so it's kind of, and all the wildlife is scurried into the streets, rats, rodents,
Oh, sure.
raccoons.
Yeah.
I mean, they're looking for a place to live. I had things underneath my deck,
Yeah.
including a woodchuck, a rat. I never had a rat ever in my yard. I had to kill a rat because he set up, and I was just worried about him multiplying and having tunnels underneath my
I get
deck.
that. I get that.
You
You
know,
need a cat.
so
That's what you need. You can borrow my mousers.
well, I finally got him. I did get him, and he hasn't. None of them have returned, but unfortunately, and rats are rats, and I get it. I just don't like it's still, I don't like doing that. So anyway, so back to the story. So my buddy lives not too far from me, and that's the same environment.
Mm-hmm.
So we were in his yard, and again, it was about 6 years ago, and we're all sitting around. It was a bunch of friends were over. A lot of the friends had little kids. When I say little, maybe anywhere from 5 to 10 years old, doing their thing. He had a big backyard, so they just did their thing on the swing sets and all that stuff. He has a swimming pool. Same guy who I helped build the pool. Yes. So it's late one night, and we're drinking a little bit, but we're not like wasted, and all of a sudden, all these fireflies, Monica, they came out of nowhere.
Mm.
And somebody dared me to snatch a firefly out of the air
Mm-hmm.
and eat it,
Yeah.
swallow it. Yeah. See if it would light up my belly.
How old were you?
Oh boy, this was 6 years ago. So I was like in my late 40s.
Okay, yeah. Eat a firefly and see if it lights up your belly, Robbie.
Yeah, I know. Well, but I was playing with the little children. So this is funny. I snatched one out, grabbed it, and I swallowed it. I did. I admit to that. Yeah. The little girls were horrified and started crying. The little boy said, "Oh, that was really cool. Do it again." I'm like, "No, one time's enough." So here's what happened later, though. Within 2 minutes, it seemed like the fireflies, and now I gotta say, it was unusual at first because there was a lot of fireflies, and we were catching them and we were putting them in jars, and they were putting them around the tables and lighting up the area. But it was just so many, and we let them all go and stuff like that. We didn't kill them. We pounded holes so they could breathe. But all of a sudden, that seemed to double. The fireflies seemed to double, and they seemed to get bigger, and they looked unusual. I did not recall this. I did not see this, but we talked about kids, right, some time ago on one of the shows about how they are just so, yes, they have an imagination, but they don't lie. A lot of
Yeah.
them don't know what a lie is.
Just
So,
describe what they see.
and these kids were describing these fireflies as having faces. And a lot of little girls are saying Tinkerbellish, right? And
Mm-hmm.
I did not really notice it. And a couple of adults, they start looking like, "Oh yeah, I think I see a face." Now again, we had some drinks, and now your imagination is running amok, and these little children are noticing this. I personally didn't notice it, and I was just me trying to, determine. And then the weirdest thing happened, which I don't know where this came from. We do have bats in the area too at night. But this was a bright night. It was one of those nights. It was very unusual because we had lots of stars around, right? And it was very
Mm-hmm.
nice and bright. All of a sudden, it seemed like the stars got covered, like a big cloud covered them or whatever. I don't know what it was. And then a million bats came out of nowhere. And this was very freaky. These bats just appeared. I will see 3 or 4 bats at night floating around the yard. If there wasn't hundreds, there was 0. And they swooped down in our sitting area where all these fireflies were, and they started eating them all right in front of us.
Mm.
I'm not suggesting that was paranormal, but have you ever heard of an account about that? And what's your take on these kids thinking that they saw faces on these little fireflies? Just their
Well, if you get
imagination?
a kid, and one of them suggests, "Oh, it glows like Tinkerbell," which I mean, it's a
I
fair
think that was
thing.
yeah.
And then they just start riffing on that. You know what I mean? Like, "Oh yeah, I see Tinkerbell too. Oh yeah, it looks like Tinkerbell." And then the parents are placating, right? They're like, "Oh yeah, I think I see a
Yeah.
face." Um, I would, not knowing your friends or not being there, I would assume that's what took place.
I'm guessing that's what took place, but I think some of the I I think as you mentioned, I think some of the parents were playing games to the children, but I do believe that some people were very serious about it because they had a serious look like these don't look like our
Well, I
typical
think that
firefly.
most adults, if they are confronted with a glowing bug with a face,
Yeah.
are going to vacate the area very quickly. They're not going to hang out.
Yeah.
I think that's a normal reaction to get the heck out, especially if there's kids around. Like, I mean, you want to protect
Grab
your
your
kids.
kid,
You don't
take
know
it,
what the heck that
take,
is. That's
take
not
them out.
normal. Yeah.
And I, for the life of me, I wasn't running. I was trying to just see if this was true, if this was allegedly, if I could find a face. Now, I did not. I did not.
Mhm.
I'm not going to say I did. But the thing that was more scary than all these millions of fireflies was all these bats just came out of nowhere and they just kind of took over the area and they just started. And you could literally see them. You could see the fireflies, the lights, they're gone because the bats are zipping through and plucking them out of
I'd
the
be
air.
freaked out that a
That
bat
was
would run into me, and then I'd have to go get a rabies shot.
get run into you, get into your hair.
The minute I
curls with
see a
long.
bat, I'm out of there. I
Yeah.
am terrified of rabies. I don't want to get anywhere near
I am
anything
terrified
possibly
of
with
rabies. I'm terrified of rabies. I've never been bitten by a wild animal. Closest thing I got was I stepped on a rusty nail and had to get a shot for that.
That's tetanus. I had a
Tetanus. I don't have
yeah.
lockjaw.
See, in my back garden, I have a path that's made out of wood mulch.
Okay.
And I was walking on the path one day in my Toms, and a big like sliver went through my shoe into my foot.
Yeah, I
had to
remember you
get a
told me
tetanus
that.
shot for that. That sucked.
That's what happened to me. I was going to my friend's house and I cut through the backwoods area and I
Mhm.
had flip flops on, togs on, and I hopped his fence into his yard. And when I landed, I felt something go through my tongue,
Oh
my
god.
heel, and
Oh, in your heel even?
it was in the heel.
Oh.
And for a minute, I just felt something unusual,
Mm.
but then the pain, and I pick up my shoe, my foot, and the nail was flush to the bottom. This thing went all the way in.
Ugh, ugh,
It laid me
ugh.
out from walking for quite some time. So
Yeah.
went to the hospital, pulled it out, got the tetanus shot, all this and the other, and it was a rusted nail.
That always freaked me out on job sites because, my guys don't clean up that well all the time
Yeah.
on construction sites. And I would buy puncture resistant work boots. I still have some puncture resistant shoes that I should have been wearing, I guess. I didn't think I'd need them walking down a little path that I made in my backyard. But
Oh,
that's painful, Robbie. I'm sorry.
that was painful. That was I was in my 30s, I think so. But regardless of how old you are, that is painful. I can still picture the pain. See, I didn't feel the pain at the onset until But anyways, going back to that story, yeah, the bats. Now that was
That's interesting. But I
crazy.
mean, it's bats do what bats do. And
They do what they do, and I'm not suggesting it was a paranormal, the fae. It was just
I mean,
those.
that would have been an interesting thing to witness, though,
Yeah, it
as
was very
I'm
interesting.
getting the heck out of the area, looking over my shoulder as I'm running away from the bats that are swooping in.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that was odd, and it was funny because good old BMR about a month earlier, I put a bat house up in his tree.
I love bats. I mean, I think bats are adorable. I love flying foxes.
Yeah.
Right? I would love to
Oh, those are
work like in a flying fox rehab. I don't have anything against bats except I don't want them touching me solely because of rabies. I don't want them. I found 2 dead bats in my yard, and the first one I found, I bagged up and I called animal control, and I was trying to get them out of here because I have no idea why this thing died. Right. And I
Yeah.
double bagged it. I threw away because I put like 3 sets of gloves on. It was like a thick kitchen gloves because I didn't want to take any risks. And they never showed up to take the carcass. So and then, a year later, I found another one maybe not a year, but later on, I find another one on the opposite side of my yard. So I know we have bats. I see them at night up in the trees, but yeah, finding them dead on my property, just, ugh. And then the thought of rabies.
Yes, rabies, rabies. But knock on wood, I've never had a rabies shot because that's very painful.
Sucks.
It goes right through your belly button.
No, well, it goes into the site of the bite or scratch.
Oh, really? I thought the belly button.
Well, I mean, they give you shots, like, I don't know, like in your abdomen, I think, but I know that they also have to give you shots at the side of
Right
the
into
injury.
the wound.
Yeah. And that's okay.
Yeah, that is. Yeah, that's.
I would love to go my whole life without experiencing that.
Yes. Yes.
But I guess that's better than dying from rabies. So, you know.
Well, yeah, it's better than that. Anyway, that was an interesting story I did want to share. I do have a extremely interesting story to share with everybody.
Cool.
Yeah, email that I got about a Bigfoot family of Bigfoot that have kind of taken over this guy's property in a weird way.
Okay.
And it's kind of long. It is kind of long. I mean, I don't know how long. I didn't time it out or anything, but it's kind of in depth. And my dummy didn't get a water, so I'm going to put this on hold for a moment and come back and get my water because I know I'm going to be parched. So I'll put you backstage too, Monica. But everybody in the chat room, do not go anywhere because I will be back.
We don't
And
want you
I'm not
parched,
going to leave.
Robin.
I'm not going to leave the young Monica hanging.
Don't leave me on the screen by myself. I
She
appreciate
doesn't want to
that.
be by. I know she doesn't enjoy that too much.
I'm
And
shy.
I would, yeah, oh, yeah, you are. You're so shy. So don't go nowhere. I know it's about 45 of you in here. I'm coming right back to get ready for this awesome story that I got not too long ago. So with that said, I'll be right back.
Mm. Mm.
All right, that wasn't too long, I don't think.
'Twas but a moment.
But a moment. Thanks to everybody for coming in. Hi, Sparky, Andres, Moon. Most all you guys are still in. Hey, BD, Bigfoot Dwarf. Good to see you. Roger. So, yeah, this story is very interesting. I got this maybe 2 weeks ago. And I'm gonna get on with this. It's kind of I don't think I will like this. As much as I dig the Bigfoot phenomena, I've seen one. Don't know that I would like what this guy sent on in too much.
Yeah, I don't think I'd want one living on my property.
Yes, it's no, not really. So
And
I'll
squatter,
get
get out.
they're definitely squatting over here. I'm trying this new sparkling water.
Oh, which one?
LaCroix. It's
Oh, I like
raspberry.
LaCroix.
Yeah, I never had it first time. I just tasted it. It's not bad.
I called it LaCroix.
LaCroix, yes, LaCroix. Of course you do.
it's LaCroix.
Monica is my speech therapist. So this I just titled this one Bigfoot Family in Georgia. And this says take place in northern Georgia. So again, I received this email from a man. He calls himself Mark in the email. He starts off by saying, Rob, I've been a listener for a long time. I've never written in before. I really thought I never would. He goes on to tell me he lives in North Georgia. He says he lives way up near the foothills of the Appalachians. Yes.
The Appalachian Mountains.
Yeah, if you guys missed last Saturday, there was a big debate on that.
I mean, I grew up saying the Appalachian Mountains.
Me too.
And then I get down in the South and I hear everybody that lives in that area call it Appalachia.
Appalachia. So this is the Appalachians for all you folks there. Anyways. He says he's not really isolated, but he's also it's also not suburban, right?
Mm-hmm.
He says where he lives, there's like long gravel roads. Properties are measured not by lots like a subdivision, but by acreage.
Sure.
And he says if you walk about 5 miles straight from his back fence, you won't cross another house anywhere. So it's spacious. And he says right there's the line from the woods. You got the tree line, which is way back in the back of the house. But then he says he goes on explaining to me he's always had an interest in Bigfoot. He was a casual person, not very serious, but he believes that they exist. And he says that he reads all the field research reports in his area, and he knows the difference between the folklore and the behavior patterns, which he is, kind of, he's behind, watches YouTube and all these things, so he has an idea. He says he says he never thought he'd be writing on in, but he says this is where I had to send this to you, and he says about 3 years ago, Mark and his family started noticing things deep in the woods behind their home. He says at first, Rob, it was subtle. He says in an odd way, kind of comforting to him and his family. He didn't really elaborate, but he'd always hear these heavy footsteps or footfall, if you will. He says they were very rhythmic. He would hear like snapping of tree breaks. He says not from storms. It's like in the middle of the night, sometimes the middle of the day. And he would also hear, he goes, Rob, you're familiar with that whoop sound. He says he would hear low whoops. And he says, and sometimes they weren't really that far off. They were within a 5-mile radius again from his house, sometimes in the distance and sometimes closer. Then he goes on to tell me he was kind of excited. He says, Rob, I'm not going to lie about it. I'm kind of excited about this. He says he felt like he was finally living inside the mystery of Bigfoot just outside of his home. Instead of reading about it, he thinks now he's getting an experience. So he says, Rob, I started documenting everything. Every time I heard something, he even went as far as, documenting the where the wind was blowing from, what direction it came from.
I mean, when you're doing field research, you have to take notes like that.
Yeah, and he even mentions the phases of the moon,
Yeah,
the weather, everything. So this guy was, pretty sharp guy, and he's like, from things he's watched before, he's kind of taking care of business here. So he says, Rob, for whatever the reason, he never told his wife, not because he was hiding anything from her, but because he was saying he didn't really want to scare her at first over something that he really hasn't confirmed or anything like that. Sparky, nice Sparky. 5 new pirates. Thank you so much, Sparky. 5 new pirate members.
Congrats to the gifted.
Congrats to the gifted. So again, never really told his wife because, didn't want to scare. He just wanted to confirm what he was thinking. But then he says, Rob, I had my first visual. He says, it was early one morning, just before dawn. Mark says he's on his back porch. He's drinking some coffee or whatever it was. And he says it was kind of a misty day. It was kind of hanging low over the property in the yard. And it was especially back towards the tree line. He says, and about 5 miles out, right from where the woods dip into a shallow valley, he says he kind of sees movement as some 5 miles out. He says, yeah, well, he had pulled out these really cool binoculars, whatever. Okay, fine.
Mm-hmm.
5 miles. I guess they get that far. He says at first he thought it was a bear. Then he realized that bears don't stand up like this thing that he was kind of focused in on. He says it was very tall, very broad. He says it was moving laterally instead of forward, so side to side, east to west. And then he says he sees another one, a lot smaller. Then he says, Rob, I see a third. Then he totally realizes, Rob, I'm not looking at any one animal or any lone animal. It's a group of these creatures, as he's saying.
Mm.
He says over the next several months, Mark becomes convinced it's a family unit. He says, Rob, I think it was, now he's thinking it's Bigfoot. He thinks it's a large adult male, a slightly smaller female, and he says, and now 2 juveniles. So he's got 4 of these cryptids, these Bigfoot, he believes to be within his property. He says, Rob, I started taking notes of behavior. He says, yeah, they're traveling together and they're foraging out in the distance right outside of the property. But he says, Rob, they really kept their distance. They were always way, way out in the background. So it wasn't very worrisome, he says, at the time. But then he says, he told his wife, and the wife wasn't too keen on this. And he said he was just, and she was kind of spooking him a little bit, I guess, whatever they were talking about as a couple.
Mm-hmm.
But then he says, Rob, I think that I think that the Bigfoot knew that he was watching them, and he thinks that they've been watching him well before he came upon this discovery.
Mm-hmm.
Then he notices that they keep getting closer and closer from this 5 mile radius or this 5 mile depth, and they're coming closer into his property. He says, Rob, I think it went from 5 miles to 4 miles, 4 miles to 3 miles. And he can see these things. He can see movement and images of these things through his binoculars, he's saying. And then he says it seemed odd because they got really close and right at the edge of his tree line that goes into his backyard. And then he noticed that the trees were being taken down, and he noticed these large stones were being placed over. He didn't see this happen, but he'd wake up in the morning and there'd be these stones sitting there. And he even seen another trees were kind of crossed and laid on the ground like they're building something, he says.
Oh.
He says, I'm really fascinated. Now I'm getting a little scared. This is a little too close to home. And he does have young children, and the wife wants nothing to do with this. And then he feels like I'm feeling like this group of whatever you want to call it, let's call it Bigfoot again. He says it's kind of like they wanted him to acknowledge their presence, which he already has really. And he says he thinks they fed off of that for some reason.
Okay.
So, but his fascination with this doesn't last very long because he's starting to get kind of scared now.
Mm-hmm.
Then he says that his wife, Emily, that's her name, I believe, starts noticing things too because he kind of kept her a little bit in the dark. I mean, he was telling her about these things, Monica, and everybody listening, but kind of eliminating what his thought process was, not to scare her further.
Well, if they're 5 miles away, you don't necessarily
Yeah.
count immediately. Yeah.
No, until now they're getting closer, getting closer. Now Emily, the wife, says out to this Mark, he says that she mentions that she is feeling, she felt one day, excuse me, that she felt that she was being watched while she was out in the backyard hanging laundry. And she
Okay.
said she heard something pacing back and forth right in the tree line.
Okay.
And she would hear it would be more pronounced when they're out on their back patio at nighttime, both of them together.
Okay.
one morning, this man, Mark, he gets out, he goes to the tree line the next day after hearing this footfall, and he does find footprints. He goes, Rob, they're footprints of an animal that I'm unfamiliar with. He says, I didn't want to say they're Bigfoot looking but they were just these oversized tracks. You couldn't see toes or anything that typically we see on TV or on podcasts or in documentaries. So he says, well, he kind of thinks these footprints are from whatever it is. He tells his wife, though, he thinks he's got a bear, a very nimble bear walking back and forth. Not that made her feel any better, but a total BS story he's telling her, right? He says at nighttime, one night, everything then took another change. He says it was late in the summer with his windows open, and he heard the sounds of all these. What are those insects? He told me
Cicadas,
cicadas. How'd you know that? Yeah.
because they're deafening in the summertime.
Okay. Yeah, he heard the cicadas, but he said they were low, a little bit of a low vibration or low sound.
Maybe it wasn't cicadas then, because that's not low.
No, they're very loud. I've got them around here. Yeah, I just forgot the name of them. They are like right. They're like crazy annoying. He's got a 6-year-old daughter. I think the name was Lily. She was sleeping in her room. And he goes, during this particular experience, he says, Rob, it was well after 2:00 in the morning. And he checked because he remembers looking at the clock, and then he hears these howls coming from the woods. He says it was not a scream, he says, but it was like a call. He says to me, it's kind of felt like it was a call. He said it was very deep, very resonant, and it vibrated through his house. Very chilling. He says it felt like it went through his chest more than his ears. And I will tell you, I mean, I felt that when I seen mine when it howled, but mine wasn't a howl. Mine was something totally different. But I kind of get where this guy's going. I can feel that.
Yeah. I mean, you get a resonating bass, like
yes,
you feel it. Yeah.
a little bit. And he says, but now these howls, he seems like these creatures are moving closer because now these howls are getting louder. So he thinks they're coming closer. So he says, Emily, the wife, happens to be in bed, and she sits straight up and she goes, what is that? What is going on here? The husband doesn't answer because he already knows what's going on, he tells me. And he says from that night on, the behavior shifted the next morning. He says the sounds were not distant anymore. They are on the property now, he says.
Okay.
On his property, inside that line. He says, Rob, I hear now heavy footfall is circling his house, and he can hear the snaps of the branches beneath the footfall. He says, Rob, I heard low breathing sounds near my windows in my house at night. He says, right then and there, my fascination with Bigfoot stopped.
Sure.
He says, I have to be a husband and a father, he says, because now his family's freaking out, and he is too. He says the fear sets in. He says his daughter, Lily, starts talking. She goes on to tell his mom and dad that the tall man comes to the trees and watches me, watching the daughter, Lily, the little one.
Yeah. Yeah.
So she's telling her parents, a tall man in the trees watches her. Mark says, the dad is asking her questions. What do you mean? She goes on to say that his face is hair. He has a face of hair. And she feels, she just looks at me and can barely see eyes through this hair that's covering the face. And just looks in at her. She goes on to tell her father that there's another one. She goes, there's a mommy. So this little girl puts together, says the word mommy. And she says that they have babies.
Super.
She says, yes, super. As much as I'm into the Bigfoot, I would not want this on
I
my
don't want a
property.
family on my property.
I do not.
No.
Mark says, Rob, that's when it hit me. They weren't curious anymore. They were interested in the family,
Ugh.
you know?
Um,
And he says he thinks that they're interested in their house.
oh, they're
And
going to come a victim.
and the thing, I'm thinking maybe scoop up the daughter and the mom. We had this conversation the other night about I think it was with you on the Late Show about Bigfoot really loving women and little people.
I don't remember that, but yeah, I mean that's been a theory for a long time. I mean, when I did the Monster Quest episode, the whole reason I was in a whole female group was because it was thought, and I think it still is, that Bigfoot is less intimidated by female voices, so the curious ones will come a little bit closer. So
Yeah. So maybe that wasn't with you, but we do so many shows. But anyway, and so he says, this guy Mark tells me that he started noticing these other patterns. Now he would notice this male positioning himself between the woods and the house. He says that the female would come out closer to the house during the daytime, because I guess the male was always present at night, and now the female is during the day. But you know damn well that the male is close by.
I mean, the dude's got to sleep sometime.
If
he's working the night shift, she's got to step up during the day.
And this is really, yeah. But Monica, this is the creepy. I mean, this is kind of creepy and eerie.
Yeah.
And what I found to be extremely creepy with this is the guy tells me that the juveniles, or the babies, as little Lily says, started to mimic Lily's laughter and Emily's voice.
Oh, no. No, it's time to vacate them off the property. They need to be escorted back to wherever they came from.
Yeah, well, yeah. And how are we going to I mean, okay, how would we, in my house, your house, how would we go about escorting them off the property?
I'd start shooting at them.
You think so?
Yeah. If I want something off my property, I'm going to make a lot of noise. Like, I'm not trying to hit them, but make a lot of noise.
You're not going to aim and fire.
Oh gosh, no.
You're going to take a shotgun fire.
But I mean, okay. Let me walk that back.
Yeah.
As a researcher, maybe I will aim at one of them because.
Maybe.
But I mean, I don't know what this dude's, if he has guns, what kind. I mean, you can't walk out with a 9mm and expect to take a Bigfoot down. I mean, give me a break. You have to have, substantial firepower.
You gotta have some firepower, right?
Yeah.
I always heard that, and I'll continue. I guess it's more left, but I would say this, because all the stories that I've heard, if you try to take out a Bigfoot and you don't succeed, you might be signing your own death warrant, because I think they would probably get you.
Well, you can, I mean, there's other ways of trying to get them out. I mean, let's see, what could you do? You could use sound as a weapon, like a deterrent. Broadcast subsonic sounds, like, or whatever you call it, like where we can't hear it, but other creatures can. I mean, it's going to
kind of like a dog whistle,
right? Like a dog whistle. I mean, I don't know if such a thing exists, but I mean, you get speakers, and if you're able to get
or blast loud rock, blast Ozzy Osbourne.
Yeah.
Krista says,
get some Swedish death metal at him at 2 a.m.
You get something. Krista says, just put up cameras. They will go away. Ha, ha, ha.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
Just put up a bunch of game cameras.
Pretend like we're watching them big time. But they already know. This Bigfoot family knows the family's watching them anyway at this point. So I don't know. So he writes on, so this is what he writes. I wrote this down. So right here. I don't think they were trying to scare us. I think they were trying to learn us. That's a statement I had to write. I remember what he told me.
It's interesting.
Yeah. And I will tell you this, if he has these feelings, that is not only interesting, but that's again, what's the motive behind learning us, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, is it curiosity? Like you mimic what you like if you're trying to communicate, you'll mimic what the other sentient being is doing, right? Like you'll mimic that, like
Mhm.
trying to connect through mimicry.
Yes. Yep. And then he says, Rob, man, that's when, man, then all of a sudden, everyone throws out this word all the time. Then he says the dread for him and his family sets in right here.
Oh, okay.
And then he goes on to tell me that animals don't learn humans, right? When they don't, do
Well,
they?
I mean, I don't know. I think
I think
learn
part of that's
humans in
inaccurate.
what regard? Like you've got a dog, they learn your habits,
They
right?
learn your patterns.
Yeah, cats can do this. They learn routine and habit.
Yes. And so part of that statement he told me, I don't 100% agree with either because, and even if you talk about our domesticated cats and animals and dogs, right? The deer, let's just go with something simple like a deer here in Michigan. They learn the patterns of hunters. They
They
know,
learn the feeding machines. Yeah, the
yeah,
feeders.
they
Yeah.
know when it's hunting season. They
Oh,
know when a
sure.
bunch of dudes are running around in fluorescent orange or yellow vests. They know what that is.
Yeah.
And even the dudes that are just sporting all camo, they know what they're there for.
Hmm.
And they know the cycle of hunting season. I'm sure they do.
Right.
Deer are not dumb, right? Or any animal. So anyway, one evening he says, Rob, I'm gonna speed this up for you. I know, you don't want to spend all day telling this on your show. If you tell it, he says. I'm like, now just tell me what you want to tell me. I'm thinking. He says one evening he comes home and he found his wife visibly shaken. He says when he got back from work, and the wife went on to tell the smart guy that she was gardening when she felt something behind her, but she said there was no sound, there was no warning,
Ooh,
just the presence. The
no.
mere presence freaked her out. She says she turns, and at the edge of the tree line, partially obscured, she saw a female, and she's told her husband she knew it was a female because she could see it distinctly, and it had these massive, massive enough breasts.
Mm.
Definitely a female. She said it got very close to her where she could see a facial structure to it. Unlike when I remember telling you earlier about little Lily seeing the beings, but all
Right.
she could see was some eyes, but it was all just covered in hair. With this woman, the wife could see the features. And she said it just when she locked eyes on this thing, it said it just stood there still. It didn't move. It just stood there like a statue. It just watched in on this woman doing her
Hmm.
gardening. Obviously, she says she freezes up. And then she says, and then this creature, this female Bigfoot, I guess, right? Whatever. I'm guessing
Sure.
it slowly steps back into the tree line, disappears. This Mark goes on to tell me, I wrote this down. That's when he realized they weren't just passing through, they were settling in.
Mm-mm.
They had found a home near our home, is what he wrote
Mm-mm.
to me.
Clear the tree line.
Yeah.
Clear the tree line. Get another 100 yards in there. The heavy equipment and all the noise will drive them
Yeah.
away.
My thoughts exactly. He goes on to tell me that the tree knocks were getting louder and he thought they were directed at his house. And he says another scary thing is large rocks were beginning to be placed or on and about Lily's swing set and playground area.
Mm.
Big rocks were put there.
Mm-mm.
Dead animals were left at his creek.
Oh, God. Oh.
Mark says one night he heard something walking on his roof, he says. And he goes, he knows it was the Bigfoot. That I don't know. I see you
Seems a
shake your
little
head.
heavy for your rafters to be
They would go
taken.
right through your roof.
Yeah,
He
I
says
would
there's something walking on his
think
roof.
so.
He says there's something walking on his roof. At this point, though, Monica, whether you heard that or not, I think with all the things this guy's experienced, I think paranoia might be starting to settle in just a little bit as well.
Sure, yeah, and traumatic jitters. I mean, yeah, paranoia for sure.
Yeah, for sure. I'd be like, head on a swivel and be like, oh my God, it would suck.
Yeah.
'Cause I think I know me pretty well. Every obscure noise that I would blow off during the day, I would associate it with what's going on the
Sure.
property.
That's normal human
And it
behavior.
would just probably drive me crazy. I'd probably be as much as I can't say what I would do. So I don't we'll wait till the end of the show, I guess, toward the end of this. So anyway, he said he thinks he heard something on the roof. But when he heard something on the roof, I know he says he went outside, he grabbed a shotgun, and he says, of course, I had to let you say what you had to say, but he says when he gets out, looks on the roof and he sees a smaller object. So not a huge Bigfoot, he sees something small up there which shouldn't be there. He
Mm,
says he doesn't say Bigfoot, he sees something on the roof
sure.
because he could tell by the silhouette of the moonlight. He says only about 4 or 5 foot tall from his recollection, and he says you can see the eyes reflecting, looking
It was
directly
one of the
at him.
kids, little baby Bigfoots.
Yeah, yeah, and which maybe would make more sense than a fully grown adult because
Yeah.
they're more rambunctious, they're more
Well, and
playful.
they're less likely to bust through the roof too.
Yes, yeah. Mark says he raises his shotgun, raises it up, and what does he say? He says that then he's seen this creature in the silhouette, kind of the head was like upright, but then he said he's seen it raised down, almost like in a apologetic or friendly form. He says, he
Like
said it
a
was,
like a
yeah,
nod.
like oh
Yeah.
yeah, and so Mark says for whatever the reason, he does not feel threatened at this. And then he realizes that man, they're just here to be part of the family. He's thinking.
Sure.
Yeah. And then he says, and when I decided that they wanted to become a part of the family, is when he finally closes this tale out. When I got that distinct feeling that they just wanted to be here, is when he decided to pack up the family and move. And he put up the house for sale.
Okay. I have
And
such a problem with that.
and he got the hell out of here.
So I put myself in the position of people, right, that have weird or potentially dangerous things going on their property. And I understand you want to move, you want to get out of there. And I also understand you have to sell the property in order to fund the move, typically.
Don't you think you'd have to disclose that information?
I would be so worried that a family with super small kids would come in and not be as vigilant, not understand what's going on, and the kids disappear, or
Oh, my
something happens
gosh.
to the kids or your
Yeah.
pets. I would be so conflicted with
Yes.
that.
Yeah. I think we had a similar discussion about some other, again, we do so many shows. I'm with you. I tell you what, me, 2026, being that I'm single, like have my mom lives with me, blah, blah, blah. If I was solo, single, I probably might hang out or not move. Because if this is truly going on, I'm definitely doing a
But we're
documentary.
researchers too. This is
Yeah,
just
I'm
Joe
doing a
Schmo.
documentary. But if you're Joe Schmo who does not know anything about Bigfoot, I think he makes the right choice to move his family.
No, 100%. He's got to get them away. But yeah,
I'm telling you what, man, I get because I know a little bit. I studied real estate law. I just know realtors. I dabbled in that when I was a lot younger. You got disclosure. You have to disclose everything about your home. You got a leaky home. You got leaky pipes, this, that, and the other. Do you think, let me ask you this. First of all, as a human being, I think that I would have to tell. Now, they might look at me crazy, and I might say the only reason I'm moving is because there's some sort of creatures that are like, don't leave. They can't keep their
yeah,
hands
you
off.
put it in the notes, the documents, right, for
Yeah.
the real estate. And people aren't going to take you seriously. Most people are
No,
not.
they're not. Oh,
But that's fine. But it's off my conscience
yeah.
because I warned you. Like, well, you didn't take me seriously. I get that. But when weird stuff starts happening, I told you so.
I told you so, Shelly says that she's interested because of the land she lives on. You'll have to let me know what that is, Shelly. Do you have Bigfoot on your property too? But I will tell you that, yeah, me and you as researchers, yeah, we'd be very intrigued by this. And again, but as a human, I can't, if I
There's
was,
so many directions to go with this type of story, because this
yeah,
isn't the first one that you've read where
no,
somebody
it's
lives
not.
in like a home, it's
No,
kind
it's
of
not.
remote, they've got a lot of property, and these things start coming down out of the hills or wherever, and
Right.
they start, poking around the house and making it really uncomfortable. There's Bigfoot researchers everywhere. Contact somebody, get them out into the woods.
Yeah, that's a great point. I mean, I'm surprised. Actually, when I'm reading through this, I'm thinking, well, with all these reports you read, so you know what the websites are, you know who the contacts are, call them up.
Call them up. I mean,
Hey,
if your house is haunted, you're probably going to call a priest or a
hey,
paranormal group, right?
I'm Mark Smith, Mr. BFRO guy. Get your
Yeah.
butt over to my
I would
house.
be
I got
interested in your
Bigfoot.
guys going, yeah. I mean, did he say how many acres he had?
I don't recall I don't think he did.
But I mean, if the property is large
Property
enough,
went bad 5 miles of his.
they could be out there and he wouldn't know there were people on his property, right? Like they're not going to be disturbing you and your family if they're doing it right. And then also, where is this guy? Did he say where he lived? Like the state at least?
North Georgia.
North Georgia. So North Georgia is pretty mountainous. So I'm just and forested. So I'm just curious how in the heck he could see 5 miles.
I said at
Clear
the
view.
beginning of the show when he was just simply took these big ass binoculars, and again, I don't know binoculars that can go 5 miles, is when he started seeing images laterally moving back and forth,
Well, there
humanoid
are
type shape.
binoculars that can see that far, but you need a clear line of sight for 5 miles to see.
Yeah.
And it's not going to be real distinct. You'll
And
see movement.
you can't tap through 5 miles of woods and brush.
No, not even in winter. You can't do that. I mean, and you've got mountainous terrain. You're going to have hills, rocks,
Yeah.
like other things in the way too. So did he live in a valley? I mean, I'm just curious how.
No, I am
he was
too. No,
able to
I'm
see
very
5
curious,
miles.
and I even know that, and even somebody that sends anybody telling a story to me or whatever, sending something in. Believe it or not, Monica, there's a lot of people that don't know the difference between 5 miles and 1 mile.
That's true. I'm
Yeah,
terrible
and
with distance, but I can tell you, I can differentiate a mile from 5
I will
miles.
tell you this, somebody that says they can hike 5 miles in the woods in an hour is full of bunk.
Oh, they're full of it.
That's at least that's overnight.
They're hauling. They're running.
I mean,
They're
and if it's not on a trail,
Well,
it's taking 2 days, 5 miles.
maybe not running, but they're walking briskly, and it's
Yes, they are.
well, I mean, I guess it depends on the trail. You could,
If it was a nice clear trail, sure. You can,
I mean, if it's a nice flat terrain and you're walking at 5 miles per hour, which is a pretty brisk pace for a human, like
yes. Yes, BD. It is 5 miles is far. It is far.
so I question that. I think he's probably just throwing a number out there. Like you said, he might not have been able to discern.
I mean, I'll throw out a number. Not in this regard, but about 2 miles. My neighbor from 2 miles away.
Well, I mean, when I'm terrible with close distance. Like I can't tell you 30 yards from,
Okay.
15 yards. I'm not. I didn't play football. I mean, the yardage.
Yeah, well, that's
and
how
that's how I
know
try to
100
do
yards.
it. When
Yeah,
people tell
100
me yards, I try to envision like
I can tell
yard
you
line.
yards. Yes, I can do that pretty
I'm
easily.
terrible at that, and it's horrible for me as a researcher. To be like,
Yeah.
I'm terrible with it.
Yeah,
I'm not a hunter. Like,
no, I could do yards better than feet. I could tell you 90 yards better than 90 feet. The only reason I know what 90 feet is because that's the length of a baseball, first to second base in baseball.
see,
And that's about how far away my Bigfoot was from me.
the sports advantage. See,
Yeah. See. When it goes to length and distance, I revert to sports.
see, and I tell everybody that because with my sighting, I'm guessing. Like I know I could show you the distance, but I'm guessing when I tell you it was like 30 yards away. It's my guesstimate. It was about that.
You know?
But I mean, it was close. I mean, it wasn't right on me at first, but I have to 100% have to guess.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And again, I tell you what, toward the end of that, I agree with you. I think we're both in step with that. Yeah, you really because we talked about something like this before, and yeah, I would not. I would be very guilty to not say anything about why I'm moving, especially a family with kids. Listen, I'm going to be honest and tell you why I'm moving. It's not because I don't like my house. I love my house. Unfortunately, this is what's going on. Hey, you can believe me or not, but if this did not happen, I wouldn't be moving anywhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, you probably say the same. Hey, I'm moving because of this. This is what I got. If you want to buy it, buy it. I'm not. Don't tell
Yeah,
me I
I mean,
didn't
I
warn you.
would now whether or not the real estate agent disclosed it in the
I doubt that they probably
I
did.
mean, you can put it in the documents. You can I mean, I guess you can insist to have something like I mean, there's required reporting like were there any deaths on the property, you know, is there foundation issues? I mean, the standard stuff that you have to report. Um I think you have to report hauntings. Do you?
Hauntings,
Where did
really?
I see that? I saw that maybe not everywhere. I don't know. I thought I saw that somewhere. But there's a seller's disclosure report which states all of that, but I would like try at least like I know it's going to sound crazy and these people will probably ignore it, but I want you to put that in there.
Yeah,
Hmm.
I think that's. Yeah. Well, I would too. I would.
Again, yeah.
Hauntings. See, because a lot of people, again, with Bigfoot, I mean, you probably don't have to legally, right? Because
For
most people
no
don't
idea.
believe in this stuff.
Yeah, I mean you can't prove it like you can prove there was a murder at the location or a
Yeah.
death at the location. Or
That you have to
foundational issues.
report. That you have
Yeah.
to tell people.
Where did I remember seeing one, and this meme went around forever about 10 years ago where there's a real estate sign and it says not haunted.
It says not haunted.
Yeah, it's like the typical like white wood, post with the, for sale sign and then the little slat on the arm. There's a placard that says not haunted.
The sign that he had on the house for the Amityville Horror, not haunted.
Can you imagine having to get that printed up? Like go to the printers
Uh,
and be like, I need this and I need it to say not haunted.
yeah. I would just say something. It was for Halloween. I don't know, but yeah, not haunted. Especially having it on the that would be
I remember when I first saw that, I was like, oh, that sounds like something a haunted house would say.
Nathan says he remembers seeing this sign
Yeah.
or a sign like that. But yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. Interesting for sure. Very I tell you what though, if most of these things that he talked about did happen to these folks,
Sure. I don't blame them for moving.
I don't
I
blame
don't
them for
at
moving,
all.
and especially for the average family, that would be terrifying. I believe. I believe for the average family, Monica, that has no idea about Bigfoot whatsoever, outside of maybe the commercials, or maybe
Right,
they
or the
saw,
TV shows.
or the
Yeah.
TV shows. The average person see a physical Bigfoot living or around their property on a daily constant basis that could care less about it would be terrified. I would not want to see that if I wasn't me,
Mhm.
if that makes sense. I would not want to see that every day. Not in my yard.
Well, hell no.
Not in my yard.
I'm me and I wouldn't want to see it every day.
No. I mean, I would not want I tell you why I wouldn't. If I'm living on a property like that, I obviously want a lot of privacy. Want private to begin with. I don't like
Yeah.
I don't want a family Bigfoot watching my every move. That's an invasion of privacy, even if they're not quote unquote human.
Again. Call a Bigfoot research group.
Oh yeah, we would.
They will shoo them away. I promise you.
They will
Or you're going to be very famous.
Yes, that's what I was thinking. I'd be out there with the cameras, the lights,
Yeah.
and then guess what? Like Krista was saying earlier when she was here, that would scare them away. Probably would.
Sure. Or if you believe some conspiracies, the government will come and take them away for you. Start documenting the crap out of it.
Or just start a YouTube channel.
Yeah. I mean, if you really want to get rid of stuff, there's a multitude of ways to get
There
rid of
is.
it.
There's a multitude of ways, and this guy didn't give it a lot of thought, I guess. But whatever. I can understand it. I bet you the wife was like, "We're moving. We're going now."
Well, I'm sure, especially when they got closer to the house. But once you realize what's going on, you're putting two and two together, whether you believe it or not. Just, you got 5 acres. If you get a Bigfoot group out there to go poke around, you likely wouldn't even know they were there.
Yeah.
Right. And then document the heck out of it. Make up a fake name and a fake YouTube. Well, no, I mean a real YouTube account under a fake name.
Fake name.
And start documenting everything.
Yeah. The appropriate people will find you.
Yeah, they'll find you.
They will find you. They want to hear. They would hear about this stuff. So I thought it was pretty cool to share. I see. Oh, Krista says yes. She's at work listening on in. Hey, go check out the Blondes and Booze tonight. Josh Turner joins them. They're on at 9 in the East, 8 Central. It's the panel. Well, it's the gals. Krista, Brandy, Natalie, and Monica with Josh, and whatever they talk about. It'll be
Natalie and Bass.
Bass, yeah, Mary Lynn. Is that what
Mary
I said?
Lynn, not Monica.
Mary not Lynn. Monica. I'm sorry. Yeah, Mary Lynn. Yes, Mary Lynn and Natalie. That's right.
Yes.
Monica, you have your Sunday night. You doing your Sunday nights? You getting ready to do that?
Yeah, I think I'm gearing up to that. I've got to pick a topic. I don't know what I'm going to do with my channel because I don't know that I want to do lives on the regular. I think I might start doing like short content, like 5-10 minutes, and then pre-record some stuff and put that up.
It is the new year.
Yeah.
You've got a pretty good voice. You could probably do video, pre-record video stories or something. People
Yeah,
like
I mean, when I first started, I was debating on just doing narration.
Yeah.
Videos because I like narration videos.
Oh, those are cool. Yeah.
Like want to go into like a true podcast form, like a true podcast format.
Yes, and just do a podcast. Yeah, I know what that is.
Something like that, where I'm just doing a podcast like episode, and I'll just upload it, and then when I upload it, I'll be in chat for however long it is.
Yeah, I've seen those. Those are pretty cool too. Whatever you decide on that, yeah. So yeah, the Blondes of Booze tonight. Then it'll be me. Today's Thursday. There'll be myself, I think it's just you and I Saturday for late night.
All right, we'll read some weird news.
Yeah, we'll do the bizarre news. Yes, we will. Thanks everybody for coming in. I got something from I got Sparky. Hey, thanks, Sparky. I got 5 new pirates, mateys. 5 new pirates. And when you guys are done watching the Blondes, I'll still be on Untold Radio. On that show tonight. That's Untold Radio. Yeah.
There's a lot going on today with our little group.
Yeah, busy.
Busy bees.
We're busy bees. We're always busy bees, Hit that like button, everybody. Hit that like. Leave a comment on this. What your take is on that. The story, and also the story about the bats attacking us. Well, not us. All the fireflies
attacking the maybe fae.
The maybe, yeah. I don't think they were. I think it was less.
You know what that was? That was vampires eating fae.
There you go. Okay. I like that. Vampires eating fae. Very cool. With that said, stick around for the next 50 seconds. I have a cool extra or old outro, whatever you want to call it, by Fidesz, which is nice. Thank you, Monica, once again. Thanks to everybody for coming in. With that being said, we are going to call it a day. And love you guys. Thumbs up on your way out. And let me just find it, Monica.
Thanks, everybody. Eventually, Rob will know where the button is.
I know. I so much to scroll through here, and I cut this
But you have
down.
to scroll through stuff. Just set it up so when you hit end stream, it plays the video and then ends.
Oh yeah, maybe I will. I'll give that a try. Good night. Good afternoon, I should say, everybody.
Thanks for watching Bigfoot, Michigan, Rob, and beyond. Join the many. Join the few. Tuesday night PM Eastern, the squad is complete. Thursday at 1 PM Eastern.